Hello everyone. In this video, I want to talk about proxies and different types of proxies that we encounter in practice. And people seem to be very confused about this concept. And I think that it is so painfully simple that I just wanted to make a short video to guide you guys on what it actually is. And it's very simple and you'll know about it in the next few minutes. So let's start by talking about proxies. What does it actually mean? So I'm guessing that you would have been in school or college at some point, and I don't know about where you're watching this from, but here in India, there's this popular phrase whenever we're in college specifically कि हाँ भाई जा proxy लगा देना मेरी घर, which translates to go to tomorrow's lecture and apply proxy attendance for me. So what ends up happening is that you, that's you, a little crooked, gives instructions to your friend, that's you, that's your friend, go to class and apply attendance for me. Whether that is shouting present when your name is called out, or if you have some fancy biometric scanners, then maybe your ID card could be scanned at one of those checkpoints. All right, so that's basically how your attendance is applied. What does this have to do with the topic of this video? Well, your friend is acting as what we call proxy. So this proxy is actually like a middleman, in this case between you and achieving your attendance goals. In the world of computer science, this proxy comes as a middleman between you and the internet. So let's say this is your proxy server. This is what talks to the internet on your behalf. Alright, this badly drawn internet which looks like a basketball. So notice one thing. Over here, I have put you and the proxy in a box together, and internet is outside this box. There is a reason for it, and that reason is that the role of the proxy is to protect you. Like it's your friend's role to protect you from getting debarred due to lack of attendance. Proxy's role is to protect you from the internet. What do you mean protection? That means that whenever you make a request that has to go to a certain website's servers, this server typically has access to the IP address of where it's receiving the request from. Whenever you make a request via a proxy, the server sees the IP address of this proxy, not your device or your internet. Alright, so proxy basically shields you from that. Proxy says that, you know what, no, you stay safe. I will give my IP address to the server. The server will know that it's me who's making the request, not you. So why is this helpful? Well, it is helpful because it helps add security, because it protects you and your devices. That is why we have all these VPNs. Second is to bypass restrictions. So let's say if you are in school or college or any other institution, let's say even at your workplace for that matter, you may have a firewall which may have a lot of restrictions at your end, that you're not allowed to access this website or this software, you're not allowed to download or something like that. So a proxy can help you bypass these restrictions, and I am warning you guys right now, do not use this video as an excuse to actually bypass security in your network. All right, I'm not responsible for it. You shouldn't do it, because not just in schools and colleges or workplaces, even the government implements this at their level. So let's say if the government has restricted a website like TikTok in India, using a proxy can potentially help you access it. I haven't tried it, but that is the basic concept behind it. Again, do not visit any illegal websites. This is a disclaimer. All right. So it can help you bypass restrictions. Basically, you are shielded, right? So whatever is traced back to the proxy, unless whoever has built the server is very advanced. It can also help implement restrictions. For example, it is possible that you may need to have a proxy connection to access a certain website, and workplaces do that to protect their internal websites. Same for schools, same for colleges. All right, so any institution which has sensitive data, maybe they may consider using a proxy to secure it. So if you try to make a request to those websites on your own, you may not be able to access it, but after connecting to a proxy, you will be able to, because the server has the configuration that, okay, if the request is coming via this particular proxy configuration, allow the response to be sent back, otherwise do not process this request. All right, so it can help with these particular points. Now we flip the table and go to the next page, and we talk about reverse proxies. So we have talked about proxies, or forward proxies to be specific. Now we're going to talk about reverse proxies. Now the difference over here is that you are still here. You are making a request to the internet. The internet is now making a request to something called a reverse proxy. And that reverse proxy then forwards that request to a certain application's servers. This time the box will be over here, because this reverse proxy is server oriented. It is there to protect the server from the internet and its users like you. So the goal here is to protect the IP addresses of different services, because what happens in practice is that there is not a lot of security at service level. So this is service 1, which is on one server. This is service 2, which is on another server. Security may not be as well handled for each application. Usually what a lot of companies do, or what a lot of teams do, not companies maybe, is that they delegate the security to this reverse proxy. They say that it is your responsibility to ensure that no invalid request comes to us. All right. So the reverse proxy says, okay, fine. If the internet needs to access you, it has to go through me and my IP address. The internet will not know your IP address. Only I know it, so that I can make a request to you. But you do not have to worry, because whenever a user makes a request, they will have to call my IP. All right, so you are protected. And because this has become a central point before all requests reach the respective servers, a lot of different things can be implemented alongside a reverse proxy, like an API gateway, which we will discuss in a separate video. It deserves a little more attention, and even load balancers for that matter. I think this also deserves separate video, but the idea is that reverse proxies can have this bundled together. All right, so we can handle load balancing, determining which server should the request go to. API gateway can determine which service should the request go to within a company. So basically all companies, all popular companies do use this particular architecture to achieve their goals. So now that we talk about it, if you've seen the video on CDNs in this playlist, which is also very important as a concept, over here this reverse proxy is something that can be packaged with your edge servers as well. So the architecture, overall architecture that we've studied so far, will boil down to something like this. It's you, the user. You are connected to a proxy. This proxy and you inside a box is connected to the internet. This internet then calls the reverse proxy, which is at the edge server. All right, this is at the edge server, and that then can call your origin servers over here. And let's not forget a very important point, that before we make this request, there is a DNS resolution process over here. So this is also been covered in another video. I highly recommend watching that. It's also a very important system design question. What happens when you enter a URL into a browser? So DNS resolution in depth has been covered in that particular video. Go check it out. So once we have the DNS resolution done, we get the IP of the reverse proxy, and that determines what happens over here with my API gateways, with my load balancers, with my rate limiters, with my authenticators, authorizers, whatever it may be. All right, so this is what entails in reverse proxy as a whole, and this overall architecture as a full concept of proxies. That's what I want to cover here. In the next video, I'll cover another cool concept, so stay tuned and follow for more.